Hi guys, it's me, Nyla.
And me, the one, the only, the impenetrable, the inescapable Kiera.
Oh my god, get to the point.
There is
Anyways,
no point. I'm just awesome.
no, she is not. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about our toxic work experiences. I do not mind saying where I worked that is a toxic work environment because honestly, it is a very toxic work environment and it's a good story for y'all to hear. So yeah, and also by the time we get famous, these people will not even I will not even be there. Kiera won't be where she's at. At that point, we should already been moved out. Anyways,
Yeah, but they get so stupid for defamation.
I mean, Kiera. No one is going to sue you. Do
Man,
you know how many people on TikTok has exposed where they worked and nothing happened to them?
I feel like something happened to him.
Nothing happened to them. They'll be fine and will be fine. So the topics today are terrible experiences at work and how is work overall.
Shitty.
So we can go ahead and start with our story times. Kiera, do you have like a few work stories, terrible toxic work
You
stories? Because
know
I
I
know you're
do.
looking at it.
You
Yeah,
know I do.
go ahead.
So, for my toxic work stories, I'm gonna start from the beginning because I love my long tirades and rants.
She does.
Yes. So I'm going to this job, right? This is my first ever job in ever. Like I've only done volunteer work and I never had to stay and stick around. So I'm like all joyful and everything, doing my work. I'm pretty good at it. I'm like leveling up in the field. And next thing you know, like I am about to be promoted to one of the managers of the soft line department in my store. Cause like my store, we have a clothing department, and I'm in there, and that's what the soft line is. So I'm about to be promoted. Cause see, they were like, we just want somebody here when I'm not around. The head manager said that to me, and I think that you'd be a good fit. And I'm like, wow, I'm so honored. Thank you. Cause I really made my mark here. I really made my mark. You know. And then
Mm-hmm.
next thing I know, I come into work one day, man, like head person in charge of everything pulls me aside and says, "Hey, we want you working on the cash register." And I'm like, "Oh, the cash register? Okay, I guess the line's been pretty long, so yeah, I'll help out where I can." And I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
this is temporary. This is temporary work, right? So I'm figuring out how to work the cash register. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I hate it so much up here. But you know what? At least I won't be up here that long. Every time I leave the cash register, you want to know what I hear on the intercom? We, Eric, Kiera, can y'all come up to the front? Kiera, to the front, to your register. I'm like, what? To my register? Mine? This ain't my register. This ain't my place. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I go up there. I leave to go do my work because I have actual work to be did in Softline because I'm like about to be promoted to one of the managers there. And they keep calling my name on the intercom. All these customers know who I am at this point because my name has been called out so many times and they won't stop. Like if I'm not there in the next 4 minutes, then they'll go ahead and call my name again. Kiara, Kiara to the register. So obviously, I'm like, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. So I'm thinking this is only for one day. I can suck it up. Next day comes, they do the exact same shit, and they even tell me, "Don't worry about the clothes. Go straight to your register." And I'm like, "That's weird. That's weird. Are y'all trying to
Mm-hmm.
like shift me over to the register? Because I don't want to be here. I really don't. I did not sign up for this." Yeah, which I even
Mm-hmm.
told Nyla, I don't understand. I did not sign up for this at all. So I go to the head manager, the one who put me there in the first place, and he said, yeah, we can't do that. We can't take you off of it. And I'm like, why not? And it's like, because we just feel like you're not taking your work seriously out on the floor. So to keep an eye out on you, we're just gonna go ahead and watch over you up front. And I'm, why y'all watching over me? Do I need babysitting? Like I am the youngest person there. Everybody there is older than me. So I feel like this is a case of like superiority over, who's younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Which we should really talk about too now because we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it don't make no sense. And every time that I asked, which I asked repeatedly until the point that it got annoying to him, where he told me to stop asking him, to let me off the register because I do not belong up here, sir. I'm about to snap at one of these customers. Like, I'm not that good at it. Every time, I remember sometimes I would give away some of the stuff for free because the customers would get on my nerves that bad.
Oh my
I told them that I'm a
god.
bad fit. Like, when I'm telling you something, it probably means that's the fucking truth. It's like because when some of these people are ghetto. When I say I work in the ghetto, I work in a place where as soon as you talk to somebody in my state and you say the name of our street, is like, oh, you work there, you work there. Everybody knows the name of that street. It has YouTube videos talking about here's this street at night, and it's just filled with hookers and drug dealers and people running across the street crazy.
Oh
Like I will not
no.
tell you how many times I've been accosted in this place and how many crackheads I've seen come in the store. But like that's all beside the point because I'm usually pretty safe. I keep myself safe. But let me tell you, these people, these customers do not make it easy. Like sometimes these older men, they be flirting and touching all up on me. And when I say touch, I mean coming up on me and grabbing at my arm and doing that whole little like
Oh.
rubbing your shoulder thing. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird right there. I don't know what is in the water with these people. And sometimes these people they come up here and they I don't know what is up with them. But I remember this one family, they were getting on me about something that I had no control over, and it was the register. And I have no control over what the register really does like that because I don't have that much
Mhm.
authority over what it does. Like you need to call the manager up there to get the register to do what you need to do, like for a refund, a void, anything like that. So yeah, so I need to
Wow.
call the manager every couple of seconds if something happens. And when I'm calling the manager, these customers in particular, these people, they're like, why you need to do all this for? We don't need to call on the manager. And I'm like, actually, ma'am, I do. I can't do it without them. I really can't. And so they're just yelling at me as if what I'm doing is like, I don't know, so wrong when I have to do it. And these people, they're
Mhm.
arguing amongst themselves. Their children running every kind of way. I mean, like one of their kids in the back of the store is like, Jew, come back here.
Oh my god.
And one of the people, they're like filming some sort of TikTok or a dance or something like that. And so they're like twerking in the middle of the store. I'm like,
Oh
what's
my
going
god.
on? And honestly, by that point, I was like, you know what? Here, just take it. Just take the bag. I'll give you a whole bag full of stuff. I gave away like I think almost $10 worth of stuff that day, cause I was just like, get out of my face, get out of
Kira,
my
you're not
face.
supposed to do that. Kira, you're not supposed to do that,
I
Kira.
know I'm not supposed to do that, but honestly, I was getting real tired. Everybody was all up in my face, and that the manager wasn't coming. They were screaming at me, and they looked ready to bust their hands through that little metal part because we have this little glass between us.
Oh yeah, for COVID.
Yeah, the, but that's not even the worst of it with the customers. The worst of it is with the people. The people. The coworkers, I don't know what it is, but everybody seems to hate the cashiers except for the hardline people. Those are the people who usually get called up to carry stuff outside. And that's
Mhm.
mostly the men. They put all the men
Oh.
in hardline, except for one gay guy who they put in cashiering. So yeah, this is a little bit of stereotyping. I feel like being done here. But anyways, besides that, like the softline people is usually like the older ladies, the more conserved people, and they just be talking
Mhm.
hella shit about the cashiers because the cashiers, when I first started working there, they did nothing except ring up people and talk mess. Like that's all they really did. And sometimes they wouldn't even be up there. Once sometimes we had a line in the store, no cashiers would be up there, and all my people in the floor were just calling up there and be like, "Where's the cashiers? Where are they?" And I had to go up to the like intercom, being like, "Can I have a cashier to the front, please? Can I have a cashier to the front?" And I just had to be like, "Okay, what is going on? Where are all of them are gone?"
They just dipped out.
Yeah,
This is this job.
they were gone. They weren't in the store. So my softline associates had to go up there and cash out people, and they were pissed about that. So it just caused so much drama between them. And plus, like with me joining the cashiers, like I feel like there was favoritism from the softline people from me being at the cash register because they were like, "Why don't you tell the manager to get you your softline job back?" And I'm like, "I've tried. I've tried. It has not worked."
Mm-mm-mm.
But they
But they can't. Oh,
well,
keep
yeah,
going.
you keep going.
Oh, but I was gonna say like they can't really do that because it's not what you apply to.
That's what I'm saying, but this was back when the old manager was there. He really didn't give a fuck.
Mm-mm.
That old manager, he was my favorite, to be quite honest, because I think I just cared more about the not give a fuck attitude. Because he would have let me. I had got bit by a spider one day, and it wasn't that serious. But he asked me, "Did I want to go back home?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And he was like, "Well, go." And I'm like, "Really?" Like I should be honest. I always want to go back home, but yo, really for a spider bite? Thank you.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, but this is even the worst of it. Like the old manager, he was cool, but some of the people that he invited to be assistant managers and hired to be assistant managers, I hated them with all my guts, with all my guts and all my blood and my veins. I truly did. I still do, honestly. If I see him in the street, I if I see him in the street, they better hope not to see me. Because these assistant managers, man, like some of them are cool. One person in particular, she's pretty cool. Never had a problem with her. It's just these other ones who think as soon as they're hired that they can come in and boss everyone around. I hate those types of managers. Cause
Mm-mm.
you're like, I know I told you about this one lady. I'm gonna call her Miss Thang because honestly, but I don't even know her real name. We used to call her Miss D, so I don't even know if that's part of her real name or something. But it was just a nickname that I gave to her because I didn't care about learning her real name. So Miss Thang, she would come up to me every now and then and just keep lecturing me about different stuff, and it would just be the most, I don't know, like minuscule things ever. Like, you really shouldn't be doing that. Like, yeah, you really shouldn't be doing that like that with the customers. You should say this instead. And I'm like, woman, oh my God, can you shut up for a second? And I could tell that she was a Gemini because she kept running her mouth. So the the hatred was already there.
Oh my god.
And then I think she just reminded me so much of my mother because every time that I did something, she would say something that was super passive aggressive and then go to whoever was next to her and just be like, and I have to be on top of things because I never really had anybody to be on top of me like this. So I would appreciate it when I was a youngster. So I'm on top of everything now. And I'm like, nobody asked you to. Nobody appreciates this.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then she'd just be acting friendly to my face as if she didn't just piss me the hell off like a couple seconds ago.
The wishy-washiness.
Exactly. This is what I don't like about Geminis. Mm. I'm getting heated just thinking about it. But that's only one of the managers. My current manager, this one, this one, there's no excuse for her to be as vile as she is, which I just complained to her, like complained about her to you the other night about what she did.
She did.
It was a violation of my rights, my human citizen rights. And honestly, I don't see why she's here because the first time that I met her, I thought she looked familiar, right? I thought she looked familiar, and that's because she's from the school that we went to. And I honestly don't want to see nobody from the school that we went to. I left those people in the past for a reason.
Mhm.
But even then, when we were in school together, I never liked her. So now that we're working together, it's even worse because she's a manager, she's a key holder. And the thing is, in school, she never did her job correctly. We were put for projects together or in a group together, and even then, she never did shit. But she was always somehow the favorite because she had so much charisma. Like I will admit, she has charisma. She is a jokester. She's able to make people laugh and like her and everything. Like good social skills. But she has terrible work ethic, and she never finishes her work. Like she'll leave everything to the people who she thinks will like take care of it, and that's what she did in high
Mhm.
school, and that's what she's doing now. But you can't do that now because you're the one who's supposed to be taking care of it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Like the thing is, like the situation I'm talking about for the people who don't know who are listening in, this person, when I was at work, I was cashier and everything. And the one thing that managers have to do, like I said, they have to call up, to be called up and do a refund. They have to sign their name on the paper so that way we can keep track of papers and who did what. And if you don't do it, or if you have someone else do it, that's called falsifying the papers. You're falsifying like legal documents now that are going to interfere
Mhm.
with the whole business. And you want to know what she did? Like the first instance, she opens up my drawer, gives the customer some money in coins. It wasn't even any money because I was out of ones. I asked her for ones and fives because I was out of ones and fives. She didn't bring that to me. So I tell her, I ain't got no money to give this person. So why you send them over to me? And she just like, well, you gotta make money. And she opens up my drawer, grabs all my coins, and tosses it to the customer. She didn't even count. Like this customer, I remember what she was owed. She was owed 14.84. She's gonna give her nickels and coins and gonna say, "Have a good day, miss," as if that solves everything. And then I tell her, "What about the refund papers? The papers you have to sign for us to keep up with where the money goes." And she's like, "Oh yeah." She closed my drawer, puts in the refund paper, prints out the refund paper, doesn't make the customer sign it. Customer's already gone with the coins that she gave her.
Mhm.
And she just asked me to write my name on it and just hands me the paper. And I'm like, you know, this is basically useless, right? This is useless. I don't know what is her issue. And the second time, like, I tried to make her sign one of the papers for the refund because finally she
Mhm.
just let me handle the refund. I guess because she realized I know what I'm doing actually. She just says for me to handle the refund and leaves. And I call her back saying, like, hey, please sign your paper because you're supposed to sign your paper.
Mhm.
And she goes, Kiera, don't make me angry. And all my anger just floats to the top of my head. It floats to my head, it floats to my fist. I was really getting ready to cuss her out. But then I just went ahead and closed my mouth. Like when I tell you I was up there looking like a guppy fish, like my mouth was open. I was getting ready to talk to her, but that's like, ooh, shut up here, shut up. And I was just like, get out of my face. I started waving her away, get out of my face. And I'll just go back and talk to the customer. From then on, I just started ignoring her. And every time that she comes talk to me, I didn't know that I was saying the wrong name to her. I just used to call her, this is her wrong name. So I'm not telling her y'all her real name. I called her Damaris. And that wasn't her real name, but it was printed out on the paper. So I pronounced it as Damaris. It wasn't even close to
Mm.
her real name. So she just said, Kiera, you know that's not my real name. And I was like, oh, is it? So I won't even use her real name right now. I really don't like her. And every time she talked to me, and she just keep looking at me, and I don't know why she looking my way.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, y'all may say I'm being passive aggressive, but honestly, I do not fucking care. I feel like she deserves all of it at this moment, so that's how it's gonna happen.
Shame.
Mm-hmm.
Shame.
But right now, work is a mess. I hate most of the managers. Only one manager is good, and that's my work experience right now.
Like, how are your hours right now? Like, how
Ass.
many days are you working? Oh.
It's ass. Like when I tell you my hours are inconsistent. Like I work probably on the weekends 1 week, and then they have me on for like no days at all, and then they have me on for 3 days, and we get paid bi-weekly, so that's only like 2 or 3 days of pay.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that's bad. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
how am I supposed to pay for anything with that? Because I'm trying to get a new job.
Mhm. We're both working to get a new job.
Yeah. Hopefully these people call me back. I've been to their place 2 times now. They're about to think I'm a stalker. I know the person name up front. They better call me back with a new job.
Mm-mm-mm. Because for me, I had like these guys had reached out to me about the clean juice thing. I don't know if I told you about that,
I think you did.
but oh, I did.
Yeah, because I remember you talking
What
about.
did I tell you that they never reached back out ever?
Hmm. Did you call them?
I gave up.
Oh my goodness, Nyla. Nyla.
I gave up because it's like, don't call me, right? Because they were a little late. I guess what they did was an interview, quotation mark, but don't call me and say, "Oh, we're gonna call you back," and then never call back. That's so irritating.
Dude, let me tell you something. These people, even though it's irritating, they really do not keep up with whoever they're supposed to be calling back. They really don't. Because The even in my job, we don't keep up with these papers. We don't keep up with them. And then like the people who I'm trying to go to right now, I called them because they said to call them back in 1 week. They didn't even remember who I was because they lost my application. I had an interview and everything. I talked to those people.
They don't care.
That's
They
why I gotta make
don't.
them
They
care.
don't
Be a
care.
stalker.
Ugh, I shouldn't be having to do your job. That's boring. But yeah, Kira's work experience story is very much an interesting one.
It's full of assholes.
Aren't we all? But for my story, I'm just gonna go ahead and go out and say it. If you're trying to work at Michael's Noonan, don't do
And
it.
you just gave them your address.
I That's not my address.
They know
That
where
is
you
not
work.
my
They can
address.
find out. They know where you work and what
I'm
place.
going to move away anyway. I'm not staying here. Like
Like,
y'all can go there,
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah. Go to
But
Nene,
don't
everybody.
work.
Find out where she lives. Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna get me stopped? Oh my god. But yeah, don't work at the Bullsboro Noonan.
Exactly.
It's a mess. It's a mess. Don't work there. And you're gonna know why. Hold up. My computer's about to die. Let me charge it.
And
Kira, say
you
something.
talk about me. I'm gonna put you on blast, Nyla. He talked about me before we even started this about me getting my charger. My thing is okay. It's you who needs charging. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First. Jesus.
Yeah, but
Alright,
hmm,
I'm back.
welcome,
I said, alright, I'm back.
welcome back.
Thank you. Also, my birthday's coming up. So
Yeah, everybody say happy birthday to Nyla.
happy birthday to me. Cause Tauruses are the best.
No, they're not. It's Libras,
You
but
are.
you know what?
No,
We share
no,
a planet,
no.
so I'm willing to let that slide.
That's our planet. You stole our
We did
planet.
not steal your planet. We were there first.
You were not there first. What in the history did y'all come first?
Libras always come first. Let me tell you.
Skirt. What's the history?
History. History.
You don't have to repeat it twice, babes. Just say what's the history.
Don't be talking to me, babes. I'm not your babe.
Kira, just give us the history. Oh wait, you don't have
What's your
none. Like
history then? What's your history?
we
Tell me it.
like
Come on,
man,
babes. Tell me your
we can
history.
discuss this after my story time. We can
That's
discuss
because
this
you ain't got
after.
none.
You don't got
All
none either.
y'all got is a
Like go
door.
ahead and Google. Go ahead and Google like you always do with that nasty extension that you have going on.
What do you mean
Whatever
nasty
you're
extension?
using. Bing? Bing? Are you using Bing right now? Because I know you don't got Google Chrome,
Man, I can go on to Google anytime I want. Just because you got
but
crusty
you
dusty
don't.
stalker invader Google doesn't
it,
doesn't mean anything.
it does mean something because Google Chrome actually goes faster while she's using these old,
Google Chrome
smelly.
does not go faster.
Yes, it
No, it does
does.
not.
Yes, it does.
Mm-mm.
Kira, we're
You
not
don't
about
know.
to make another. We're not about to make another argument based podcast. We already
We
had that.
argue
So check
every
that out.
episode. What are you
No,
talking about?
we're not. Well, we don't need to make this one a longer argument like the last one that you did.
I did not do
Ugh.
anything. I
Yes,
was
you did, because
innocent.
you don't like to admit when you're
I was
wrong. You just don't.
innocent. I don't admit when I'm wrong when I know I'm right.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and it's okay to be wrong, Kira. It's
You're wrong.
okay. It's okay. You're
You're
wrong.
wrong. See, you get so
I'm gonna.
defensive.
I'm gonna. I'm going to have the last say
No,
because my birthday is coming
uh-uh.
up.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Kira, this is so sad.
You're so childish.
Okay. All right, let's get back. Okay, so my story time is gonna also be a very long story time. So grab your popcorn
Woo!
and your
Woo!
milkshake and whatever else you like to eat.
Icing.
Kira, I'm worried about Kira's health because I feel like she's about to get diabetes. Like, I don't want her kids getting
What are
diabetes.
you
Also, I don't know
talking
why you sent me that TikTok. Like, we're not about to get pregnant together. Like, Kira,
What?
I already
What?
told
No, no.
you.
This is preparation for
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
get pregnant.
yeah,
Cause she like to do stuff without protection. She has no protection to protect her. Like I'm calling
yeah.
you out, calling you out on the internet.
Okay, first off, I should not have to be the one to buy that type of stuff.
You
Okay,
should.
it was him.
What?
It was him.
What?
He wanted to do that. He
And
wanted
you
to do that.
agreed?
This okay. Look,
If
look.
any crusty dusty old man comes up to you and he says, "Let's do it without a condom," and you say, "Okay, sure," and you say yes,
First off, don't think of me as a hoe on the street. I used to go
I
through my
never
whole
said that
phase.
wording.
I
You
mean,
said
yes, you did, because you make it seem like I'm coming up to random old men and talking about that. No, Kiara, that's not what I am. I'm not a whore. Unlike you. So
Man,
you
you
need to
cannot
stop.
be calling me a whore. I have way too high of standards to be called a whore.
Says who? Says who?
That's my
Like,
dating
you tried
history.
to go after a girl that ghosted you, and
But
you still
I'm not
stalking her.
going after her.
We're not here to be exposing each other. This is not no exposed
This is the
podcast.
exposed podcast. Like this is the toxic work environment. No, this toxic like podcast right here. We exposing each other's secrets left and right. Like damn,
I mean, you started
I
it,
didn't start
so I'm
nothing.
here to finish it. Yes, you did. You
When did
started
I
it,
start
so I
it?
came
When
here
did
to
I
finish
start
it.
it?
You started it by exposing my sexual history, knowing that I told you, and you're just supposed to be telling other people. Okay, like
You exposed where you live.
how I don't live in a retail store, Kira. I do
You're
not live
able to
there.
know from where you work at.
They don't know where I live. You know how many subdivisions are around where I live? Yeah, so they
You
have to
gave
go
the
through all
exact
those
address. You were
subdivisions
like,
to find
it
me.
is in Bulbury, New Noonan. Exposing
Look,
where you
look,
are.
look. And she lives in Decatur.
Stop.
You're with
Stop.
that?
You
Yeah,
don't like, oh
yeah.
my goodness, you don't have stalkers showing up to my thing.
You're welcome. You think this podcast is popping? We're gonna get there. We're not really
Yeah.
popping yet.
But imagine somebody goes through like a deep dive on us. It's like, here's the deep dive of Nyla and Kiera. They used to live at this exact address based on their old podcast.
I mean, I feel like once you get to the level of famous, I feel like one day we might get doxxed. I'm not
See?
trying to wish that on
See?
us,
It happens to
but that
everyone
won't
on the
happen.
internet. And you just gave the docs people like grade A fuel.
They're gonna find out anyway.
Why would I want them to find out where we live?
I mean, because we're not really gonna be staying here any longer anyway.
We have had almost 15 minutes full of us exposing each other and arguing. And you gonna say, let's not argue anymore, then continue to argue.
I mean, because you keep egging on the argument, and it's just like
I have done no such thing.
she keeps egging on. Y'all see this, right? Y'all see how she keeps going and going and going.
You know, I cannot help that I like to run my mouth.
Okay, let's get back
Mm-hmm.
to the podcast. Okay, so now that y'all know not to work at the Michaels in Bullsboro, Noonan, let me tell you why. It's a very toxic work environment. The managers do not care about you. The coworkers don't know how to mind their business. It's just an overall toxic work environment. But I'm gonna go into like a story, and I'm gonna like not. I'm sorry, I got distracted because there's literally I don't know what the what,
Is it
okay,
about
I don't know what that was. That's what I was saying. I felt like it was like a gnat or some sort of bug or something.
kill it?
But it'll know my computer because it's by my computer.
Okay.
But on to the story that y'all want to know. So basically, let's we got Vanny, who was my co-worker friend. Also, another not disclaimer, but a note. Don't be friends with your coworkers. It's not worth it. Like Kiara over here that keeps trying to be friends with her coworkers. Don't be friends with your
No, stop
coworkers.
coming for me.
But yeah, don't be friends with your coworkers. Take advice from me, not Kiara. She's a bad example. So I know she's probably putting up her middle fingers at me, but you know how that goes. Anyway, so we have Vanny and we have coconut because coconut looks. I don't know how coconut tastes, but I feel like coconut tastes really bad.
I don't know how
So
coconut tastes.
I was friends with Vanny, and me and Vanny were pretty close. We were both Tauruses, but she brought Tauruses a really bad name, and I'm gonna get into that. So yeah, it was me, Vanny, and this Cancer coconut, and I hate coconut with a passion. So originally, coconut and Vanny they were friends. Well, they weren't really friends back in high school. They knew each. Well, they didn't even know each other either. They just kind of was talking about how they went to high school together. Da, 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 da. So I was like, okay, cool. They didn't tell me that I was eavesdropping, so you know how that goes. So yeah. Well, they weren't really friends then, so keep that in mind too. But for some unknown reason, Coconut just had a weird obsession with her. And it was really weird because Coconut had a boyfriend. So I was just wondering, like, Coconut, you trying to get with your coworker?
Oh, girl.
But Benny didn't like roll that way. Like Benny's like straight. And then, Coconut had a LGBT pin on her vest before. So I'm thinking, okay, is she like pan? Like I didn't really know her sexuality and I did not care to know. So, Vanny first came in, everyone was cool, everyone was vibing. I remember we were having truck this day, but the truck wasn't there yet. So, whenever I had placed something down, Coconut would pick it up and then place it somewhere else. And that just slowly but surely started agitating me because I don't like when people do that. I don't like when people come up behind me. That's just saying, "I look, can you move this somewhere else?" in a polite manner. But for her, it just felt like she just intentionally was poking the bear because I'm very quiet. I don't talk that much when I work or just anywhere at that. Only when I'm around friends, I talk a lot. Not a lot, but just enough. Um,
Ooh.
so she was moving stuff around, and I just slowly but surely started agitating me. I remember when trucks started, what I would place a box down, and at that point, I was like still kind of new at truck and stuff, and she would look over, like when I would walk away from the corner of my eye, I would just see her just looking at the box that I placed down, and that slowly but surely started agitating me. And I didn't get a manager involved or anything. And you're probably wondering, like, what, Nyla? Why did you get a manager involved? And I was just like, I don't think a manager needed to be involved. I'm a big girl. I can speak up for myself. And that's exactly what I did. So a few days later, I told her straight up to her face, I said, hey, I don't know if you're intentionally doing this, but I need you to stop coming behind me. Please and thank you. Kept it nice, cute, and professional. And that was it. And she was like, oh, then like, why didn't you tell me sooner when I was doing it? So basically, you're acknowledging the fact that you did it. I left it alone.
Ooh.
I just ended up leaving, and yeah. So that was during inventory at that time. I remember that. And we were like in the fabric section. So yeah, so time forward, at this point I'm getting to know Vanny. Vanny's getting to know me, and we were it was me and Vanny, and I think, oh, I can't say her name. I'm gonna call her Miss Marbles. Miss Marbles and Coconut. And we were all working together. And at that point, that's when COVID was like really big at that time. So Coconut was sick. I don't know why she came into work if she knew she was sick. And she would just leave like the product in the boxes. And the thing about my workplace, you're really not supposed to do that. You're supposed to take it out the box and put them in the bigger boxes. Um, so she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing, and that's what also irritated both me and Vanny. So, cause then, right before, I'm sorry, I had to think. So after that, um, cause at first Vanny, let me sidetrack. Vanny at first told me, she was like, "Hey, like, are we supposed to be leaving stuff in the boxes?" I told her no. Da 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 da. Okay, now I got that. So then Coconut went home that day, and me and Vanny would just be talking shit about her. We both will. Both of us. We both had an issue with her.
Mm.
And it was a lot of drama. It was a lot of drama. And then there was a situation at this point in time also, and so Chris had came around.
It's
We're gonna call him because but yeah. I had told Kira about him and how much of an insult he is. So
mm-hmm. He
yeah.
is. From all the stories I've heard.
But this story is not about him. So, um, actually, there's one of the stories that had to do with him. So basically, Insult Chris, I guess he called Vanny a bitch. I'm not sure. That's what she told me. And I wasn't there that day. So I'm not sure how true that is. When I had confronted him on it, he said he didn't say that. Um, And I also remember that Kiera had got on me because I was talking to Enso Chris about Vanny's situationship, because both of us was really going through a situationship.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, both of us.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
gotta call out bad behavior when you see it. Bad, Nyla. Bad.
and the reason why Kiera is saying that is because like I didn't give Enso Chris details about her business. I just told him like a brief summary. I just told him, hey, Vanny and her dude, quotation marks, are going through a situation. Is this dude using her? And he basically explained, he's like, yeah, he's just like with her just to be with her, or he's only there for the sex. Like, I don't really know the situation. See, I didn't go into detail. But Kiara was like, Nala, why would you do that? Like, da, 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 da. Kiara's
I
thing.
had good
And then
advice. Security.
it was good advice though, because you shouldn't be telling your enemies friend quotation mark their business. That's the moral of the story. Um, but I had ended up telling Vanny what I did, and then Vanny was like, "Well, how would you feel if I told everybody your situationship?" I told her, "I don't give a rat's ass if you do. I don't care. That man was not my man. He was not my man. Go ahead. Because honestly, I could care less about other people's opinion.
No,
So, I. I'm sorry. I don't. Like, why are you making it sound like I do?
because at times you do,
I don't.
but at times.
At times, I don't.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Give me an example. Give me an example
Any
of when
guy
I
that you're
ever
interested in.
shared. I don't.
Nyla, that is a bold faced lie.
Like, what do you mean? Like, give me like I need an example, Kiara. That's not an example. That's like
It's a broad statement.
I don't like. I don't. I don't.
All right, Nyla, you said you don't care about anybody's opinion.
I don't.
So why every time there is a guy that you're interested in, you come to me and be like, Kiara, was this too weird of me? Like, did I do this wrong? Like, what did I do? Like, why is he not answering me? Should I stalk him? Like,
I've never said that before in a day of my
you
life.
said
I do ask for your opinion. But like when I mean by opinion, I mean by like telling my business to other people. That's what I mean by opinion. Not me asking you straight up, Kiera, I need your advice on this, this, and this. No, I mean you going out and telling the whole world about my trauma, backstory, what I've been through, everything,
so it's like oversharing.
basically.
That's hypocritical.
what? What are we talking? Like what? How? Like how did we get to this point, Kara? How did we
I
get
will tell you exactly how we got to this point. Because earlier we were literally just talking about how the moral of the story from why I was getting on you about like sharing your other coworker's business to Incel Chris, and how bringing up her situation with her guy and their like love life, their situationship to somebody who is known to have kind of a bad relationship with your coworkers because apparently he called one of them a bitch, and basically like to somebody who doesn't seem to respect them anyways. It's like giving him more ammo to use for her, or like drama or gossip, to somebody who you were being friendly with. That's, you did the oversharing there.
It wasn't like a full oversharing. It was just his opinion. Like, I feel like we talked about this. I feel like we did. I feel like we talked about this.
We have, and it took a while for you to get it too.
Look, don't be me at that time. Don't share your people's business. I guess because I wasn't really that close to her, I felt like I didn't completely share everything that she told me. I just told the situation with her dude, and that was it. That was it. Don't do what I did though. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, don't
But
be a nice
I'm
example.
yeah. Cause it's like I said, it was just depending on the closeness for me. Cause I didn't feel really close to her. Now it would have been different if I had was sharing Kiera's personal information to him, which I would never do. Because she told me that information and nobody will need to know. That's honestly between me and her. Cause I remember I got on her about her grandma telling my business to
Yeah,
her grandma. So
because
yeah.
that's the whole different situation right there. But pretty much the same kind of thing. Granny likes to know about how things are going on with you. And back then, my big mouth just went ahead and said anything. And when I told you, you were like, "Kiera, why'd you say all that?"
Cause I like to have like a good like when it comes to people's parents, I like to have that good reputation. Yeah.
I think you'll have
I
a good
like people.
reputation. I think you'll always have a good reputation with parents. I don't see parents really hating on you like that. I'd be surprised if parents hated you.
Same for you, my God.
Now that's
Well,
a
I
lie.
know you don't, but
You know parents don't like me.
I mean, my mom is a homophobe, so you know how that
Oh,
is.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but that's a story for another day of why my mom doesn't like Kiera. That's a story for another day. But back to the story though. Um, so yeah, me and Benny didn't like her. I know that we were always talking shit about her. Like right when we would leave work, we would sit in our cars and just talk shit about her. So that's how it kind of was. I remember there was a situation where we did truck again on a Friday, and at this point we had, what was the name I can give her? Dandelion. Dandelion was working with us, and Dandelion did not like our. There's a lot of people in this story. We're gonna name him. What's a disgusting snack?
Nuts.
Nuts. Yeah. So nuts. Nobody liked nuts. He was a who nuts was a mess. He was very passive aggressive, but the manager that took his place, she's even more passive aggressive than his passive aggressive. So she's kind of up here and he's down here. So it's just like, yeah, the passive aggressiveness with them two is just a mess. Like, oh my god. But back to Dandelion. So Coconut decided to work in the section that me and Vanny would meet up in between because Vanny would have kids to paint and I would have wood to paint. And we would meet up in the middle. But for some unknown reason, Coconut left where she needed to be at to be where Vanny was. Like I said, Vanny was not interested in her in any way or form. Like, I did not understand the obsession. That was an obsession. That wasn't a friendship. That was obsession. So I had ended up going to baking and I had thought all the boxes were off the floor, but then when I saw Dandelion picking up all the boxes and opening up some boxes, I was just like, Dandelion, why are you on the floor? Like, who boxes are these? And she was like, I don't know. Like, these were just here. And I was just, okay, well, I'm gonna help you. Right. So then Coconut and Vanny came over, and Coconut was like, oh, those were my boxes. And I look at Vanny and I'm like, why were you in my section then? What it's making me upset all over again. So I was like, okay. I wanted to curse her out, but I was like, Nyla, be nice. Be nice. So I had to be nice. And I was like, okay. Still looking at Vanny like, Vanny. Anyways, so then Coconut left and I gave her side eye because it's like, why would you leave us to do your work? So we're over here opening up her stuff that she should be picking up. And me and Benny were just talking amongst each other. We were just like, what? Like, we were literally Kyle's mom in South Park.
What?
I got a realization by it. Yeah. Good job, Kyle. I'm all official. Good job, Kiara. Woo! She she should be a good voice actress. Good job.
Thank you.
But she left to go to the bathroom, but really she just be on her phone in the bathroom. Anyways, so we ended up picking up her stuff and me and Vanny were talking amongst each other. Once the day was over, me and her was once again talking shit about her as usual. Um at this point, Vanny was about to leave because stuff just was not getting done. Like the planograms weren't getting done. Everything just was not done. The managers didn't know what they were doing. I remember it got really bad to the point where we did have to talk to the managers about coconut. They did nothing about it. So that was honestly a waste of my time and a waste of Vanny's time because they did not talk to her. And this is where everything kind of went downhill at this point between me and Vanny. So I had decided to go up to Coconut myself and confront her myself. Now I shouldn't have never did that and I should have just left it alone. But honestly, I didn't I was tired of doing other people's work. So I decided to resort to what I do best. So I went up to her and I told her the situation the best of my ability. I told her like, "Hey, like I don't really know what's going on with you, but like, can you do your part of the job? Like, just things like that." And I thought Vanny was behind me to back me up since she was also, talking shit about her. So I just kind of thought like she was going to back me up, help me out. So when I was talking to her, talking to Coconut, she was getting like overly defensive, just being upset for like no reason. And I was like staying calm and composed the whole way. And I was looking over to Vanny to back me up, and guess what? Vanny was just like just looking all over the place. And I'm just like, this is what we're not about to do. You're If you plan on being friends with her, I'm gonna think you're a fake ass bitch. And that's honestly how I thought of her as. Cause I don't support people that talk shit about somebody but then turn around and then be friends with them.
Mm-hmm. It is
That's
fake.
giving fake. It is. It so is. And that's exactly what she did at the end. So we're gonna get to that though. We're gonna get to that. So Benny's looking all over the place. And I'm just like, are you not gonna help me? And she was like, oh, what were we talking about? I was like, okay, bet. So I ended up leaving. I ended up leaving. I did not curse nobody out. I ended up leaving. But I did send Vanny a text. I said, fuck you and delete my number. Cause I'm not dealing with that. That's giving fake and phony. Like you're fake. You're so fake. You should have just been straight up with that girl and said, "Not Nyla here is right. You're not doing your job. We're not here to do your job for you." Simple, easy, to the point. She didn't have to be mean to her. I kept it nice. She could have kept it nice, and everyone could have kept it nice, and we could have went about our merry way. But she just wanted to be fake. So I sent her that text message. I was about to drive my booty home. She texted me and she was like, Nyla, like, why did you send me this meme message? And I was just like, because I'm not about to deal with you. You're fake.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking all that mess to me, and I was talking all that mess to you, and it's giving fake. And then she was like, "No, that's not nice." Da, 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 da. And then she decided to blame Coconut for our falling out, and I was just like,
Girl.
"Coconut isn't at fault. You're at fault for not sticking up for me." And just keep in mind, right? Remember how I said she was a Taurus? She's not a Taurus. Taurus must never do that. Taurus will have their friends back to the very end. And since then, I was planning her funeral in my head, both of their funerals. So I just, I just couldn't be. I decided to give her another chance. Out of the forgiveness of my heart, I forgave her. But I was plotting my karma for her. And the Enso Chris incident was the karma. That was the karma.
Mm-hmm.
But to make a long story short, I stopped talking to her because she ended up being friends with Coconut later on. I can't be friends with you after you done all that shit talk. I can't do that. So I had to just cut her off. Stop being friends with her. Stop associating myself with her. That was the end of that situation. Um so yeah,
Um,
never mess with the Taurus. I'll be plotting your demise.
I completely understand cutting her off because honestly, like, do you ever notice when people start shit talking other people, but they have no spine to say it to their face? They're gonna be shit talking everybody they know. They don't really have no loyalty like that.
Exactly. It just felt like you had no loyalty in her. Like before she had, because before I was about to leave, she also told me, she was like, Nyla, like I had just simply told her, like basically she buttered it up. She sugarcoated it to basically saying like, oh, I don't want to do other people's work, da 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 da. And I was just like, why did you sugarcoat it? If you, me and you had the same issue and you brought the issues to me, and I noticed the issues that you were talking about. So it's just kind of like, and then this is another thing that I hate. I hate when people say, I regret telling other people things. That's annoying and irritating because it's like, why do you regret what you said? Why do you regret bringing up something that you had a problem with?
Hmm. The, I think the only reason for that, like, if somebody regrets what they're saying, then I think it's because they like, oh, they found out that what they said was wrong, or you have like a wrong opinion, you changed your mind, or something like that. But if it's just like, oh, I regret it now because things didn't end up the way you wanted, then I feel like that's selfish right there.
That is selfish.
It's like I understand having a change of opinion, but just doing it because things didn't go your way. Mm.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I forgot. There's more. So, oh, sorry, guys. I was forgetting some things, but here's the rest. So when I went, this was during Thanksgiving. I was still out of town with my mom and my brother, and I went to my grandma's house because we go to my grandma's house every Thanksgiving. And I remember, I think at this point we came back to the house, but I didn't want to go back to work until the next week. So um I was at the house and I ended up getting a call from her, and she called me and she told me, "Oh, hey Nyla, Coconut and this other manager, we're gonna name her Suckle." So Coconut and Suckle were basically shit talking you. And I was just like,
So like,
okay, before we get into what they were talking about, did you defend me? And she was like, yeah, like I just told them, like, hey, it wasn't your fault, because they were talking about your age. They were talking about just how you're quiet and things like that. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
hmm?
I mean, that's not really shit talking
It
necessarily. I mean,
isn't.
because I know Coconut had a problem with what I had told her. Because Coconut went, like I said, to the manager, thinking that manager was going to do something about it. But she's not the head of us, and on top of that, she wasn't going to do nothing anyway. So I wasn't really scared about what was going to happen after the conversation. And plus, I didn't say anything wrong anyway. I was just stating the obvious from what she shown me. So I was just like, okay. She was like, yeah, like Coconut was talking about your age. She said she's been here longer than you. Da 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 da. And then Suckle has said, okay, well Nyla's quiet. She doesn't say much. So Suckle was kind of surprised, and I was just like, okay, okay,
That don't
okay.
sound like nothing.
Honestly. So then also Coconut had brought up like, oh, Nyla was looking to, Vanny for like support, even though Vanny didn't do anything, da 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 da. And that's what piqued my interest. And I told Vanny, I was like, did you not say something to her to say that you also had a problem with her and how you brought all this stuff up to me? And then she was just like, oh, well, at that point they kind of left the room and da 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 da. And I was just like,
Oh,
so so basically you didn't really defend me because this girl is saying that I was looking to you for help, knowing that you told me everything. So that doesn't really make any sense as to why you didn't say anything to her and say that you brought it to my attention, right? right? That does not make any sense.
Dude.
So
Oh my god. I'm noticing things that I don't think I noticed when you first told me this story.
that's what I'm saying. It was a mess. And then also Vanessa was saying, she was also like, "Oh, were you talking mess about coconut when when you first got here?" I was like, "I didn't know coconut from a can of paint. I don't even talk to her. Why would I talk about her if I don't know nothing about her?"
Mm,
That, so the fact that Vanny was about to believe that, I'm sorry, it's making me upset. It's making me upset. Let's get off of this. Honestly, the moral of the story: don't be friends with your coworkers. Like I said before, don't be friends with them.
mhm,
Leave them alone. They're all a mess.
mhm.
It's, it's, it's a
Yeah, I think it's kind of good that y'all have stopped being friends because, like, and I'm not saying like it's good because of other reasons. I'm saying it for the sole reason, and that's because it just seems like a giant red flag to just be talking shit
mess.
about people and then not doing nothing when it's brought to your face, and then to be like bringing up like in quotations shit talk from other people and not doing nothing but just reporting. It's like you don't want to be in the drama, but you're reporting the drama.
That's what I'm saying. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And I know y'all are probably hearing this and y'all are probably confused and frustrated. I understand. And that's exactly what I had to go through. And it was a very much so a very toxic work environment. It wasn't just a Venny situation. Cause then ended up getting a manager change, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just gonna give y'all a quick summary. I ended up walking out the building. It it was that bad to that point where I had to walk out and people assumed that I just quit, but I didn't. I don't want it to ever get back to that point because I'm back to, where I'm working at and I don't want to fucking be here. Cause it's like nobody hasn't changed from the months that I left. Cause me and my mom ended up having a falling out. I don't want to deal with these people.
You sound like you're in prison.
It felt like I was in. It felt like it was prison. It- just get out of it. If you're in the situation that I was in, get out of it.
Mhm.
Get out of it. Get out of it.
Get
Cause
that.
it's so bad. It is so bad. But Kiara, how do you feel about work overall? Since this is your first job.
Mm, mm. I feel like my volunteer work was better, honestly. My volunteer work, I just had my basic stuff. I would organize papers. I was working in like an office setting because they had those volunteer hours that you had to have, to graduate in Leadership Academy. Yeah, so I had to have those. I liked it better there because I was working in a good air conditioned building on one of the top floors. I was organizing papers. I would have my lunch period. Nobody bothered me because they didn't know who I was. They just thought some random kid was up in there. But here, everybody treats everybody else like shit and then back talks them in like the back rooms. Everybody don't like the cashiers. I'm one of the cashiers now. I feel like they could be talking about me and I wouldn't even know it because I'm not back there no more. And like I feel like I just get involved with people too. Like how you said, don't get involved with your coworkers. I get involved with my coworkers. I literally just do. Cause I don't know. I brought stuff for my coworkers before. I spent money on their businesses because a lot of them are trying to start up businesses. Like I received gift from them before. Like good, like took some of their food. I don't know. It just feels friendly to me. I like being friendly. I like the friendliness more than I like the two facedness that comes with being in a workplace with other people.
Mm-mm. But yeah, how work overall is for me. This isn't my first rodeo. I think this is my second job. This is my second job. I had 3 jobs in total. I worked at Dollar General, then Michaels, and then Rainbow. Don't work at Rainbow in Union City. Don't work there.
They have crazy rules to me. They don't make no sense.
Yeah, like you have to wear leggings and your panty line is showing, and then I ended up getting fired for the dumbest reason. Okay, well, it was honestly a lie because I was honest. I wanted to go on this Disneyland trip with my mom because I needed a break. I had to deal with a breakup with a person that I didn't really like that much, and then it was a mess.
Mm, I still don't understand the reason for firing you.
That's what I'm saying. Cause it's like, okay, so the lie was basically I had told them I had a family emergency. And then the lady has sent me this long message basically to summarize it. You're fired. That was it.
Imagine it was an actual family emergency, like, oh, somebody in my family real close to me just passed away. And they sent that text saying, like, you're fired. Like, that would be the worst thing ever.
So yeah. So now on to our since we're getting close, because I'm hungry and Kiara's probably hungry
I
and
just
she
want
wants to eat
icing.
icing or whatever. Kira, diabetes. Anyways, so I know I'm supposed to be giving my anime, manga, and TV recommendation. Watch Shameless.
Oh my goodness, yes. Watch it. Watch it forever. Oh my goodness, I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so
Dude,
good. How far did you get?
dude, I'm done with it right now.
How? They have 11 seasons.
What do you mean how? It's been out for years.
Oh, I just started.
Oh my goodness, you're so late. Oh,
No, because Voldemort had told me about it, but I just didn't get into it.
dude, like the first time that I watched it, it already had like 3 seasons out, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been a long time watcher. You have much to learn about what's going on. Like I'm gonna keep up with how you're progressing with the show.
Oh my god. Because I do not like Frank. I'm not
Yes,
vibing with.
we hate Frank in this household. All right, who do you like best though? Who do you like best?
I like Veronica and Kevin.
Oh, I love the relationship. I want to have someone's
Yeah.
passion as them.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah. I'm trying to find out what happened between Fiona and Steve. I haven't gotten to that point because they look really like a healthy couple,
Oh,
and then she's kind of like,
I can't wait till you find out because we gonna talk about it because it's gonna be a lot to take in.
oh my god. But yeah, also there's another thing that we need to talk about, but we could talk about it, whenever you're free for the rest of this week. I don't know when you're free.
I'm gonna be
But thank you guys so much for joining us today with our toxic work environment
yeah, and
stories.
our
I'm so happy.
mid rants that we kept having throughout this whole podcast.
They shall get used to it. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, and I hope that you guys enjoy all of the other podcasts to come.
Yeah, and watch our videos when we come out on YouTube. Watch it,
Yes.
or
Yes.
else there's gonna be a
Yes.
beating in store for y'all. Yeah,
Okay. I don't want to go
you're
to jail. I
threatening.
don't want to go
You're
to jail.
threatening.
But thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Oh my god. Well, bye, guys.
Bye.